question. Okay, vertical angles are formed when two lines are going to cross, and they're basically vertical from each other. So if I look at angle 2 and angle 4, those two are vertical. They are vertical from each other, across from each other. Okay, and that means that those two are congruent, which means they're the same. That's how we say equals in geometry. Okay, if I look at the other set here, these obtuse angles, this angle and this angle are vertical from each other. So they are the same angle measure. Yes?
Do they have to have the same amount? Like, what if one side is 25 degrees, does that mean the other side has to be 25 degrees?
Do you mean the other vertical angle? Like if this one's 25, does this one have to be 25?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, they do. Yes, that's what vertical angles mean. The big thing, though, is that you have to have these two straight angles crisscrossing. Okay? So you always have to look for the two straight angles to crisscross. That's what forms the vertical angle. And we're going to look at some examples of that today. Okay? All right, so let's look at this first one. All right, so it says find the angle that is vertical to HJY. So here is H, J, and Y. Okay, so we're going to find the angle that's vertical. So what do you think? Oh, look, see, you guys are good at this already. Dominic, what'd you say? P? Yeah, it's this one right here. PJL. So angle PJL is the one that's vertical. So if I said, I'm just going to make this up, if I said this was a 20-degree angle, this one would also be a 20-degree angle. They would be the exact same angle measure, even though I just made those numbers up. Okay? All right, let's keep going. All right, what about this one? Name the angle that is vertical to ABC. Here's A, B, C. What is that one, Jenna?
RBW.
RBW. Very good. See, RBW. BW. This one is vertical to that one. Griffin.
I thought you said they had to be the same length.
They are. See, watch this. Watch this. I go. Whoop. Same line. Whoop. Same line.
I thought you meant like same length on both sides.
I'm sorry. Okay. It's another 5 clicks to get it to click to color. So, okay, I'll send it again.
I thought it had to be the same length.
Doesn't have to be the same length. It has to be at the same degrees. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I don't know how better to say that. Do you have a way to better? Do you know? Because I know what he's saying. It has to be. I mean, whether two rays are this long or this goes for infinity. My arms, like what's that movie? That yeah, there you go. Then this angle is still the same no matter how long my arms are. Does that make sense? Okay. Good question. All right. Okay, let's look at this one now since you guys think you're so good at this. Okay, name the angle pairs that are vertical angles. So remember, we can name angles with letters or numbers. So here you would say, I think angle 1 and 5 are vertical. So which ones? Give me some angle pairs you think are vertical angles. Isabel. Angle 4 and what? 4 and 8. Okay, are they directly across from each other? 4 and 8? I know. This is where it gets harder. It does look like spider web. You're right. Each. 2 is all the way up here, and 5 is all the way down here. So now be vertical. Nelson. 5 and 1. 5 is here, 1's all the way up here. All right. Try again, Aubrey. 2 and 6. 2 is here, and 6 is all the way down here. Those would not be vertical. Cade. 2 and 3. Nope, still not there yet. Let's keep going. Chandler. 5 and 6. Is that what you said? 5 and 6? Okay, so let's look at 5 and 6. Here is one line. Here is the other. There has to be a crisscross, and they have to be across from each other. So is 5 vertical with 6? Yes. They went on the crisscross, opposite sides of each other. Okay, name another one. India. 7 and 8. Okay, here is line. Here is line. Those are straight. 7 and 8 are vertical from each other. Okay, are there any more? And if you don't think there are any more, justify why you don't think there are any more. Kendall.
There aren't any more because all of the numbers, they don't have the same amount, they don't have the same degree as the lines as the other.
Good, they're not sharing those intersecting lines, right? Okay, so let's see if you can understand what she's saying. Because some of you might have said, well, I think 1 and 2 are the same. Isn't 1 an obtuse angle? And 2 is an acute angle? Here, they share this line, but they don't share another line. Do you see how all of these are like crisscrosses? They're two intersecting straight lines. This does not have a line coming off of it. That way, they don't share another line. They have to share two lines. So look at 3 and 4. What do you think about that? No. 3 is what type of angle? Obtuse. What's 4? Acute. They would have to share two lines. How many lines do they share right now? Just one. See, they share this line, but what happens here? It stops, right? Yeah, it takes a turn. It can't take a turn. That's not okay. It has to be completely straight. So these are not vertical angles. Just those are. What about 2 and 3? Okay, are they across from each other? See how 7 and 8 and 5 and 6 are directly across from each other? 2 and 3 are not across from each other. Okay? All right. So with that, we can set up equations. I know you're completely shocked. We can set up equations for this. So let's look at this one. So what do we know about this angle and this angle? They're vertical. And what do we know about vertical angles? Yeah, go ahead. They have the same degrees or the same angle measures, right? They are equal to each other. So how could we set up an equation for this? Pagan.
4x plus 40 equals 140.
Exactly. 4x plus 40 equals 140. And then now we can solve for x. So we're going to subtract 40. Subtract 40. So we get 4x equals 100. And divide both sides by 4. So x equals 25. Okay, what if they went one step further and said, we want you to find this side, but we're not going to tell you this. We're only going to tell you this and this. How would you find that angle measure if they did that, Lily? You would take 25 times 4 and plus 40. Yes, that would be how you'd find the angle measure if they didn't give you that other information. All right, let's see if we can do this one. We're going to keep getting harder and harder. Okay, so this one says, what is the value of x? Any ideas here?
You'd have to take 90 minus 40 because that's a right angle, so whatever.
What would that whatever be? 50. Why did she do that? Why did she always tell us to do that? See? There's an acute angle and a what? Never mind. Okay, Cassie?
Well, now there's a vertex, and now it can be,
Now there's a what?
now there's a vertex. No, now that's what?
What's our wording goal?
Vertical.
Vertical. Now there's a set of vertical angles. Do you see it now? Because remember, this right here has to share two lines. So it shares this line, shares this line. So 5x is vertical with the 50. But we had to do a little bit of math to figure that out. And what she said is this is a 90-degree angle, so she knew if this was 40, this one had to be 50. Kendall.
So since they have to equal the same degrees, couldn't you take 5 times whatever number equals 50?
So we're going to set up an equation, right? Which is exactly what we do. So 5x equals 50, and that's what you're saying. 5 times what is 50 in an equation. So here we just have to divide both sides by 5, and x equals 10. Done. But you just kind of had to think a little bit, right? Like they just didn't give it to you that time. All right, ready to get smidge harder? Now, yes, we are. We can do this. Okay. Find the value of x this time. Give me a second to look at it and see what you think. Okay, we got 3 people who think, 4 people. Griffin, what do you think?
Since that is a 90 degree, we'll have to subtract it.
Okay, so because this one's 90, we also know that this one will be 90. Does that make sense? So what he's saying is we need to find the measure of this angle, and we know that this whole thing is 90. So how did you tell me to do that?
Subtract 18 and then divide by 9.
So we're going to subtract 18 to find this angle. Does that make sense? All right, so what's that? Is that 72? I'm scared. I've been not doing well with my simple math today. Okay, so now what do we do? Yeah, so equal, wait, well, hold on. Say that again. Why would it be plus 72? Here's the 2 lines they share, right? They share this line, and they share this line. So this side equals this side. Yeah, 9x equals the 72, because it's, do you guys see how they're vertical when I draw them different colors, Kendall? No, because that was to find this. I mean, we could add it to equation, but I think it would be more complicated, so I'm not. Okay, 9x equals 72, and now we just got to divide both sides by 9. Bingo, bango. X equals 8. Does that seem too bad? You just got to kind of think about it a little bit. I always kind of like these because I like puzzles. Like I like to solve like mental puzzles. So when I see these, I think they're fun because I'm always like, where's the angle that I have to look at? All right, last one. This will be the hardest one. I know we can do it. Okay, find the value of x. This one's kind of a challenge. Anybody think they know? This one's a little tough. You're gonna have to use like 2 steps on this one. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's look at our vertical angles and make sure we can pick those out, right? Do you guys agree that this one right here is vertical with this one? Because if I were to draw in, here's your straight line, here's your straight line. Okay, then there's another set of this one and this one, because if I would draw a straight line here, those 2 are shared. And then obviously this one and this one are the last 2 that are shared. None of those truly help me here. There's not anything that's going to help me, okay? But what is going to help me is knowing that this one right here fits here, okay? Because now I know, okay, does that follow me so far? Okay, do we know what the angle is of this one? Should be 180, right? So what do we know about all 3 of these angles? If I add them together, they get me 180, right? Would I be able to find x if I write an equation for that? I would. What would be the equation I could write for this? It's going to be a big one. Kendall? Oh, running in my shelves. Griffin?
5x plus 66 equals 30.
Nope. Lily?
Plus 34.
Nope. Cassie?
Plus 5x equals 100.
Plus 5x equals 180. Because isn't it this angle, and this angle, all 3 of those angles together equals 180. So you have to put them all together. Okay? That's a lot, but we can do this, right? What do we do first? We're good at this. Combine like terms. So we have a 5x and a 5x, which makes a 10x. And then we need to combine our numbers together. So we have a 66 and a 34. So that's going to give me 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 100. Please say my simple math is right this time. And then, do you know how to solve from here? Sure you do. Now it's just a basic 2-step equation. This is super easy. All right, so 10x equals 80. Divide both sides by 10. And by the way, is this one you could have done mentally? No. So